Guide MMO strikes once again. 5 major TBC changes players are looking for. Are begging Blizzard for begging.
So the first question were, would you like to see changes? And here 83% of you voted yes out of 1,200 players.
There we go.
These results were also the reason for why I started making this video.
This is siren fuel. Why do you enable siren like this, bro? What?
A lot of you would like to see changes on the anniversary realms. But not all changes are welcome. At least not the WoW token. The majority wouldn't like this to be introduced.
The fact there's 40% of people for the WoW token like shows how lost this game is. You know, all the people that don't swipe are gone. I have this argument by other YouTubers before, like, oh man, the WoW audience is like all swipers. No, it's not. The people that don't want to swipe quit. That's the problem. We only got the swipers left.
But still, 39% voted yes, which is a high number. It also makes completely sense, because another question were, have you bought gold on the anniversary realms? And here 25% of the people voted yes. Some of them explaining that items are just way too expensive. Also, the consumables they need for weekly raiding.
Yeah, they are too expensive because everybody's buying gold.
And when they can just go to work for an hour and get gold for an entire month.
We only have Ebons left? What you mean? Ebon is for the token.
Why would they like to try to compete with all the bots?
He pulled that one too, like, oh yeah, the community is all swipers, man. Like, what's the point in fixing anything? Because the community is all swipers. So like, yeah, sure, if they want to exploit us and sell the token, we should let them because the community is swipers, you know? It's the victim's fault, you know?
Every time. I mean, there are so many of those, which is also why a lot of the items is just increasing in price because gold is losing value. This might also be the reason why 39% of the people voted yes for a WoW token, simply because they don't really care about farming, they would just like to enjoy the game and purchase a token to get whatever they need on the auction house. This also brings me on to the next question. How much gold do each individual player currently have? And the majority is below 2,000 gold, but there were also quite a few comments with people stating that they couldn't vote basically because they're below 500 gold. So I guess it ends up being way more than 61%.
That's me.
I'm wondering if it will cause more people to also buy gold, as you will need a total of 6,000 gold to get the different flying skills and your epic flying mount.
Man, I didn't think of this. Okay, so like today I made a video and I like for fun added up like some of the materials. If you want to get a warrior to previous state in TBC, you need at least, probably way more, but at least 9,000 gold. At least. And then you need like 6,000 gold for the goddamn flying. That's going to be something else.
At least 42% of you would like to do so. It is currently banned on
20k
the
gold
realm,
easy.
But it seems like a lot of you would like Blizzard to change this and finally make it acceptable. There's definitely different pros and cons about this topic. If you have got a lot of gold, then it's a great way for you to spend it and quickly gear up either your main or all character. Another example is a player who don't need any items in the raid, but they enjoy raiding, and this is mainly why they're also playing the game. This player is getting paid to do something they enjoy, instead of having to do open world farms against every other player, or the different bots. These bots are providing gold to gold sellers, and some of this is being sold to people attending Gold DKP, so this is definitely a negative thing. However, it's not like you're forced to attend such a raid, as you could always be looking for a pug who is using the traditional role system, or join a guild.
Well, you know, like, here's the thing, right? Like, if they ban the gold buyers, I think GDKPs would be a lot less popular. Because people say that GDKP causes... By the way, even when I was pro GDKP ban, you know, in my naive little younger self, I was never saying that it was the RMT the problem. I never thought that was the problem. My problem with GDKPs was that they make normal pugs less attractive, which they still do. Like, say what you will, be pro or against GDKPs, that's a straight up fact. You know, like, why would you pug normally when you can do GDKPs? But aside from that, like, I don't think GDKPs are a cause of the swiping. I think they are a symptom. If you are like a literal loser that buys like millions of gold, and like that's how you spend your time, and like that's what you enjoy out at the game, you are gonna pay somebody 30k gold to get you in a raid. You know, you can pay for... It's still legal to get carried in WoW, right? Like, swipers that wanna just do a raid and get gear, they are gonna find a way. They don't need a GDKP. Like, GDKPs are popular because of swipers, but they do not really cause swipers. You know what I mean? And like they are popular because of swipers, because their gold goes into the GDKPs. So of course, capturing the swiper gold is the most efficient way of profiting. If there wasn't any swipers, GDKP pots would be much smaller and they would be less attractive. Back in the private server days, there was always GDKPs. Back in those days, we called them GBids, gold bid raids, and they were almost exclusively done by the Chinese. You know, most Westerners did not do GDKPs, even though they were perfectly legal and known back in the private servers. Why? Because we didn't have to. Consumables were cheap in private servers. You know, you didn't need 2,000 gold a fucking month to raid in WoW. You just didn't need it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like, it's a symptom, it's not the cause. GDKPs are not the problem, they are the symptom of the problem.
Where the loot is being distributed. Moving on to a different.
Do regular raids not happen if GDKP is an option? They do happen, but you lose access to the good players because, okay. Like, when I say that GDKPs weaken or like disencourage normal raids, people assume, and I heard this argument thrown around, that, yeah, but there are normal raids in Era, right? So like, that isn't true. It is true. Because if you care about your performance, if you care about being good at the game, you need gold. Thank you for the follow, Nax, by the way. You need gold if you care about the doing well in the game. And GDKPs are the most efficient way to get gold. So maybe the casual players are still going to be doing normal SR runs, but the good players that you rely on to carry your pugs, they are not going to want to do SR. They are just not. So even though normal raids still happen, you lose all access to good players. And that kills pugs. That makes certain content unpuggable. You know, it's what happened in MOP, when for the longest time they made leveling like too long, too hard, and there were way less ults in MOP than back in Cataclysm, and that killed pugs, because you lost access to all these experienced players that were carrying the pugs. Now, I believe that GDKPs should be allowed, but I do not believe that allowing GDKPs doesn't have a cost. They do have a cost. They do have a cost to exist. And you can like GDKPs, and that's perfectly fine, but you have to accept that there are pros and cons. Yes, I am half Spanish and half Italian, thank you.
Topic, the Burning Crusade pre-patch. A lot of you would
race,
like
yes.
this to last for 2 weeks, like it did in Burning Crusade 2021. But more of you would like it to last for at least 4 weeks or longer. I share the same opinion, because I remember back in 2021, people had to either no life solo level or pay a paladin or a mage to boost them quickly to 60. With 4 weeks we can level more casually and maybe even have enough time to work on our profession.
Okay, so he's saying double pre-patch time. I agree with that, 100%. I want to learn my pally. I don't want to be rushing. I agree with that one. Yeah, 100%.
Blood Elves. I believe Blizzard might also add a character boost on the Universal Realms. Therefore, I'm also curious about one thing. Would you like Blood Elves and Draenei's to be boostable to 58? And most of you voted yes. I guess this might be because you felt like you didn't have enough time.
No. That's gonna be pay to win as hell, bro. Especially the world first race. Like, if they allow Draenei's to be boosted to world first, a shaman in grace, no, a shaman naked is worth taking to the raid just to get 2 lusts. That would be like so pay to win. Insane. I do not care if like a month after it comes out, they let you boost a Draenei or a Paladin. That's fine, but like, you cannot have it early on. You can't. It's gonna kill the race to world first. You're gonna have like boosty shamans up the ass. Shaman value is insane. Raiding Karazhan without paladins, easy, not a problem, 100%. You prefer to have one paladin, but you don't need it. Raiding Karazhan without shamans is ass. Okay? World first a thing in TBC? Well, yeah, like even if you're not literally racing to world first, your normal guild that has boosted shamans is gonna have a massive fucking advantage over the ones that are not boosting. How is that not pay to win? It's still cancer. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't support that at all.
When it were only a 2 weeks pre-patch. Before I move on to the next topic, then I'm also curious about one thing. Do you believe Blizzard will add a character boost to milk the content, or simply
Oh, you
to
think
benefit
not? Of course
from
they're
all
gonna
the
put a
people
fucking
who
boost
would
in it.
like to purchase these.
It's already in the
Let me know
leaks.
your opinion by posting a comment below the video. And down there, feel free to also let me know what price you feel like is fair for a level 58 character boost.
$0.
Moving on to the next question. Should there be fresh Burning Crusade Anniversary realms? 48% of you voted yes, where 52% of you...
Okay, that one is hard. TBC fresh. Fuck, I auto ran to the Horde town, bro. Oh, look at this. I played Horde for 5 years, bro. I almost died. Okay, sorry about that. Fresh TBC. I would love fresh TBC. I think it's great. We made a video on it before. I am a content creator. I have a bias. I happen to believe that fresh TBC is the best for content. And no, they should not balance the game around content. I feel a fresh server would be awesome if Blizzard handles it the way I think is fair, like merging the fresh server after a month to the normal server. That's what I would do. But I also know they are not gonna do it. So yeah, probably they shouldn't, because they are gonna go add it the wrong way, and that sucks. But I would, if there was fresh, I would play it. Yeah, if there was a fresh server, I would go to fresh, 100%.
And I gotta admit, I had a ton of fun. Some of the main reasons for why I had so much fun were basically because I knew everyone were starting all over. So people had
so
no
fun.
gold, no max
Fresh
level
experience is
character
always
with
fun.
the best possible gear. There wasn't boost all over the place and people selling rare, green or epic items. No, we had to start all over and collect these things ourselves. This made many people join these servers, also players who had not been playing WoW before, because they knew it was a fresh experience, so they wouldn't be behind
It
in
is
any
so
way.
attractive.
I believe this is
to
why
join
48% of you also voted yes to a first server. Maybe because you have not been playing much Anniversary,
Especially for
so you
what I
feel
do,
like
right?
you're
Because
far behind.
when I raid with my chat, you know? I got my chat guild in Era, by the way. You wanna join? Get in the goddamn Discord. Fresh is such an enabler to get friends that haven't been playing together back together. Is so huge. Such a big... I love that.
Compared to the average player. What we also gotta remember is that Draenei and Blood Elf will be playable in the pre-patch. So if everyone were starting all over, then there would also be more people to level with as those two new races. This is yet another reason for why the pre-patch should also last longer than 2 weeks, as it would give the average player enough time to hopefully also reach level 60 and maybe even try.
They are not gonna do pre-patch for 4 weeks because it's gonna sell less boosts. Yes. That's it. Should they do it? 100%. They should do a 4-week pre-patch. They should absolutely do it. They are not gonna do it. You know they are not gonna do it. Gotta sell that boost.
A couple of classic raids. This would also result in Burning Crusade being more difficult, as the average player wouldn't head into Outland with the best possible classic items from AQ, Blackwing Lair and Next Swarmers. Now you might also be wondering, what is the problem with a fresh server? Well, if we look back at the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch ones, then in the beginning there were of course a lot of players, but as the pre-patch were about to be over and we moved into the next expansion, then a lot of players left and went back to the original classic characters with the best possible gear and a ton of gold.
It's already that way, Boom. It's only limited to 1 boost per account, but you just get another account. That's even better. They get 2 subs out of you. That's why they do it, right? Like, if you want to boost more than 1 character, you have to pay 2 subs. It is so cynical, it is brilliant. That's why they do it. It's not for the sake of you. It's not for your benefit that they block it to 1 character per account. It's to get you to double dip and buy 2 subs, yes.
One of the reasons why they went back was simply also because they didn't have enough time to make it to max level, and they felt way too far behind, even though it were a fresh server. What also made many people leave were that Blizzard for some reason decided to introduce a character transfer. So if you didn't really like this first server, you could always transfer back to your main. This was a big problem, and it resulted in many people leaving, and a couple of months later, the server also felt completely empty. Another problem with the first server were that current guilds were also breaking up, as there were all of a sudden not enough players to cover the different roles. Basically because a lot of the players would either like to stay on the current server and the remaining part would like to try the fresh experience. Therefore, it's also difficult for me to
Okay, that
argue
is true.
that
It's
it
gonna
is a
split
good
up guilds
decision to
together.
either
That is
introduce
true.
or not
It
to
will
introduce
break
a
up
fresh Burning
rosters.
Crusade anniversary
That's a good
realm.
argument. I
So
didn't
let
think
me
about
know
that.
your opinion by posting a comment below the video. Alright, with this topic being covered, let's move on to the next one. Should normal flying speed be increased from 60% to
Hell no.
150% like it were in Breath of the
Flying
Lich
mounts
King?
are bad
The
enough.
majority of the people
Hell
voted yes
no.
to this question, but I definitely also see some big problems.
They are
Bots will now
stupid.
have an
Don't
easier
listen
time
to them.
farming,
Democracy is a
and there
lie.
will probably also end up
Democracy
being more
was propped up
competition.
by the
In
Anglo-Saxon to
addition
keep
to
my
this,
fair
it
people
won't be
down.
such a big upgrade when you're getting your epic flying skill compared to original Burning Crusade,
No.
when normal is 60
No, bro.
and epic
No.
is 200%.
No, hell no. Hell no.
In my opinion, there is a bigger
Ice
problem
cold
with
take.
the normal flying skill, and it is the running speed, as this
Get
is
rid of
also
flying
60%.
completely.
So anyone on an
Yeah,
epic riding
if it
mount
were up to me,
will
I
also
would.
be
I
able
would.
to get away from you.
I swear to God, man. If it were up to me, I would delete flying and I would like, you have to change some things. You have to change the entrance to Tempest Keep. You have to change the entrance to Kill Jaden. You have to move some things around. But I would 100% get rid of flying. I think flying is cancer for the game. And they will never be able to take it away. That's the problem. Like if you try taking flying away, people are gonna riot. It's never happening. Flying is cancer. I hate flying with all my soul.
Unless there's going to be mountains or other areas
pull a
that
portal,
you'll need
something
to
like
get
that.
across.
You can fix it if you
I do
want.
believe more
It's not
people
hard.
would probably also accept a change like this instead of increasing the flying speed to 150%. But I do understand why a lot of you would like to increase the flying speed as well. You're probably already familiar with the Barbershop. This was originally introduced in Breath of the Lich King,
Yeah,
but it
they
seems
should put
like
the fire
majority of the
barbershop. Is
people
anybody
would
gonna
like this to
complain?
also be introduced in the Burning Crusade.
Bro. If you hate on somebody on putting the barbershop in TBC, why? Why does it affect you? I assure you, if they put the barbershop in TBC, people are gonna lose it. They will lose it. Don't ask me why. They will lose it. Barbershop doesn't mean it doesn't get you anything that you cannot achieve normally, right? It's just a change in your character. You can get that for free if you make the character that you want. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. I would put the barbershop in the game. If Blizzard wants to make it a microtransaction, I would not hate on that. I would prefer it would be free, but like if they put barbershop as a, I don't know, $5 to get the barbershop edit on your character, I can live with that. You know, if they want to make money and nickel and dime the players, that's like the one thing that I think I would not hate on that. That sounds reasonable to me. You know, like, go make yourself $5, Blizzard. Do that. That's like one way to make money that isn't cancer to me. That's better than most. Yeah.
Even with the possibility to also change our gender. I gotta be honest, I doubt Blizzard will add something like this into the game. I guess it's going to be too much work. It's way easier for them just to release everything.
No, it's not gonna be
like
too much work.
In Burning Crusade Classic.
I cannot pull up the private servers, but in TBC private servers, Warmain, you could do it on the website. They had a website for the barbershop. Like, yeah. If Blizzard can get $5 out of you, you think they are all of a sudden they are gonna have the budget to do it? You know, like when Cyrene was like, you know, that's impossible, we cannot do it. That would take like 5 minutes of work. Impossible. All of a sudden, if they make $5, they are gonna be like, yeah, get 60 employees on it right away, sir. We are not running the TBC client. Yeah, that's even better. That would make it even easier. The barbershop is already in the code of this game. Classic is a fork of retail. It already has barbershop in the code. It's the opposite. It would be easier, not harder.
The common thing to do in this expansion is to bring 5 shamans into your 25-man raid setup. This is because heroism and bloodlust is a party buff only. Would it be better to change this into a raid-wide buff so you don't need to bring all these shamans? This would also change the different raid setups.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. The same
78%. Oh, these people are so fried. These people are so dented, I cannot believe it. 78% want raid wide lust. Did they play the game? Did they play the... Holy shit. I'm getting mad just looking at this. Why? Do you know what that implies? Do you know what that's gonna do?
In 2021. In my opinion, this could be a positive change, as it would open up additional raid spots.
Yeah. Should you get a weekly token reward of a chest that you can open, and it depends on your performance in dungeons for that week, and you get a Titan Force version of the loot every week? 78% vote. You know, like every time we say like they don't listen to the community and we complain, you know what, Blizzard? You were based all along. God damn, I cannot believe this shit. That's insane. Oh, I'm gonna lose the vote. Come on, stopwatch. Oh. 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 Okay, I had way more time. I will always say that Blizzard doesn't listen to the community and they should listen more, but on the other side, it is true. People do not know what they want. I am more than willing to bet that most of the people that voted yes on Raid Wide Lost never played TBC in any long-term capacity. That would be cancer. Like a single lost for the entire raid, that's what it means. Because they are going to have to put a cooldown on it. You cannot have perma lost. That would be so cancerous. You think you do, but you don't. Yeah, the guy got made fun of because he worded it so poorly. It is true. A lot of the time the community doesn't know what they want. Like, they are never taking away flying mounts, even though they are poison. How many people are that way? How many people are for things like transmog? I think transmog is straight poison. They are never taking it away. Like, there's people that want the token because they want to buy gold easier. This is why I hate Reddit, by the way, because it's these people hang out in that place. It's straight poison. They do not play the game and they have like extremely strong opinions on things they got no idea about. Where would you get feedback from the community that isn't poison? Reddit is like the worst place. It's even worse than the forums, I would say. Like, there's probably more people that play WoW in the forums than in Reddit. Like, at least they have an account. Don't listen to San. He told me in private he wants the WoW token in TBC so he can be a millionaire IRL. Shut up, man! God damn it, I have 7 Venezuelans in my basement. Now they are gonna escape. Stop telling them to escape.
For other classes.
Jesus.
But if they decide to implement a change like this, then it would also result in some of the content being more easy, and this could be a negative thing to some players. I guess most of you are also looking forward to the guild bank system. At least I am myself. But there's a chance we won't be able to enjoy this at the beginning of the expansion. At least we wasn't in the beginning of Burning Crusade Classic, and also not in the original game.
That's so dumb.
I'm not entirely sure why we had to wait in TBC Classic. Maybe it were to hype up Phase 2 even more, as there would be more changes implemented. Nonetheless, I'm glad to see that basically almost all the voters here would like this to be introduced either at the start of Burning Crusade or in the pre-patch. This is exactly why I'm also making this video, to highlight some of the different topics, as it would hopefully give Blizzard an idea of what the community
what are some
would like
changes
to be
you would
changed.
like to see?
And what about a permanent Burning Crusade server? Just like we got
TBC
Classic.
era, I would love to get TBC era like he's saying, but we're not gonna get it. Like, they already know that like there's way too many versions of WoW, and I kind of understand it. Purple Lotus? What's this, like 20 gold? 10 gold? Failed attempt. God damn it. Flight path to Karazhan? Nah. I mean, if they put it, I'm not gonna be mad, but nah. Why? I would remove flying mounts, you know? If I had absolute power and I know it would be very unpopular, I would delete flying mounts. And you would have to like plug some holes in like how to get to places that you cannot get to without flying. I would literally delete flying mounts. That's like the one change I would make. Like Hala, the Okindon Towers, they are such an amazing idea for world PvP, and they are never fun because of flying mounts. That would make such a difference. I don't know. That's a good question though. By the way, shout out to Guy the Memo. I'm gonna put the link in the description. We love this guy. What would I change? Yeah, I got a big one. Gotta put Terracone in dungeons. Not a lot. Make it like a rare drop, but you gotta put Terracone in dungeons. If you do not increase the Terracone supply and put it outside of the open world, it's gonna be cancer. There you go. That's the change. If there's one change I wanna push to TBC, 100% is that one. Yeah, boss drops. I don't know, like a random like spawn of a herb in a dungeon. You can make it like random stuff. You can figure it out. I don't know. I would do that 100%. Follow twitch.tv/sanmedina to see the stream live every day, and subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.